Tour de France stage 21, Pogacar and Vingegaard chatting, looking a lot more relaxed than they were on stage 1. The three podium winners, Lipovitz, Vingegaard and Pogacar, and then of course the UAE team celebrating the victory. So we did have the traditional procession, but then when we came into Paris with the Eiffel Tower in shot, some riders were there just to roll in to finish the Tour de France. We of course had the customary roll through the Louvre, which I also really like, and it also shocks me how fast they go across the Champs-Elysees. For the first time, the UAE team with the flyover from the French Air Force over the Arc de Triomphe. But we got a different finish this year. It's not the flat Champs-Elysees sprint, although that's where they finish. They do 3 laps of the Côte de la Butte, Montmartre, so they go up past the Basilica on Montmartre Hill like they did in the Olympics, which was a really good race where Remco won. That was a much harder race, 256 Ks. So they do 3 laps. It's 1K 5%, although there is an 8% pinch. It's cobbles. And Tudor Pro Cycling, they were making sure that they had their man, Julien Alaphilippe, in good position for that hill. GC times were taken at 50 Ks to go. So the GC contenders, if they didn't want to get involved in this, they didn't have to. Look at that man in the yellow jersey, though, who started the first lap in good position up the hill. And he can't help himself but go for this stage win. He follows the Alaphilippe attack. Lotto probably wanted Arnaud Delis, could be a good climb for him. But Pogacar goes on the attack every single rep up this hill, trying to go solo, trying to win what would be an iconic victory in the yellow jersey. And this is the group. A group was created of 25. This is the riders that are going to battle for the stage win. 3 Vismas in, though. Wout van Aert, Campenaerts, and Matteo Jorgensen, so they're the most well represented apart from maybe Lotto and Bahrain. But then the rain comes down. Huge downpour. I was ducking for cover at this time. Second time up Montmartre. Visma are happy with the sprint. They're happy having a numerical advantage. They're trying to control the attacks from the punchers like a Tadej Pogacar or Bastien Tranchant, or even Kevin Vauquelin, who's one of the other GC contenders that makes it. But Pogacar goes. Van Aert started this rep in bad position. Pogacar goes again, trying to whittle this down. And yeah, go solo like he's won in Liège, Lombardia, Tour of Flanders, where he dropped Van der Poel and Van Aert every year that he wants to, pretty much for the last 2 years, on the Outer Quarmont or the Paderberg or the Koppenberg, whatever, and he whittles it down to 5 riders: Ballerini, Trentin, Jorgensen, Van Aert, plus one man coming on down a wet pavé descent, full gas through an urban area. Matej Moric makes up for getting dropped on the climb to come back on the descent. So there were 6. Visma with 2 riders, so are they going to cooperate? 20 Ks to go, they work pretty well. They extend the gap, they kill the group behind. This is the group of 6 in front of that are going to fight for the stage win. Astana without a win in this tour. Bahrain also, I think, without a win this Tour de France. But then when are the games going to begin? I mean, it's hard to tell. Are they leaving gaps because people are attacking? Is it because there's like a foot of standing water? 10 Ks to go, the attacks start to come from, of course, Matteo Jorgensen. But Moric responds. Moric responds every time. Ballerini and Trentin were playing a bit more passive. They were leaning on Tadej Pogacar to solve any problem. And you see Moric actually talking to Van Aert before the last time they go up. It's about 5 to 6 Ks from the top of that climb to the finish, including a very fast downhill, only 2 or 3 Ks of flat. And in the wet, you can't solve problems through the corners so well. You can't make up positions and just snap close it. So Van Aert lets the wheel of Jorgensen go. Moric reacts again. Pogacar on a little bit of a gap, having to sprint. And we're only about 1.5 Ks from the start of the last repetition. Ballerini just rolls through. Trentin leaves a gap. He's just trying to conserve energy, knowing that a bomber's coming. But when the opportunity presents itself to just follow on the wheel of Jorgensen and, not relay and maybe not get dropped on the final climb, he takes it. Pogacar solves it this time. He moves to the front. He just paces, and he's going to do this entire climb, full gas, top to bottom, like he did on Outer Quarmont, like he does in the punch earth stages at the start of this race, like stage 4 where he won in Rouen, except this isn't as steep. This is more the classics purest terrain, like a Ballerini or a Wout van Aert, or indeed, if he'd been here, Mathieu van der Poel. But no one's dropped Pogacar in about 2 years. Nobody's dropped him. Nobody's dropped him or really put him under much pressure this Tour de France until this moment with 400 meters to go on Montmartre. You know, Pogacar, he went on the first rep, he went on the second rep, he went halfway up the third rep, but then Wout van Aert drops the bomber and drops Tadej Pogacar, a sight we haven't seen for 21 days, and you can forgive him for being a little bit tired, and credit him also for actually going for it on this final wet stage. But Van Aert, through these narrow, cobbled pavé streets onto the descent, he's got the cyclocross background, so that shouldn't be a problem. Can he keep it up? He gets a bit of the moto draft, and then it's 10 seconds. Pogacar's not going to take the same level of risks on the descent because he still has to finish this race. He doesn't want to crash. I'm sure it was pretty nervous for his directors watching this finish, but Van Aert was going to what was going to be an iconic solo victory on the Champs-Elysees. He's won on the Champs-Elysees before a couple of years ago, but that was in the traditional mass sprint. Today, he wins solo on the Montmartre finish, which I think the organisers are going to want to bring back. It was a lot more exciting, I must say, watching than the traditional sprint, although I do like it, so I think they should just mix it up and vary it. Pogacar, of course, though, wins his fourth Tour de France victory, a relief for him in dominant fashion, but Van Aert wins the stage 19 seconds ahead of Ballerini, then Morris, Pogacar fourth, Jorgensen, Trentin, Deli, Vauquelin, Turnison and Dylan Teuns. Here's what the Belgian had to say after the race.
The rain made it quite sketchy, but I managed to stay upright and had full support of my teammates. I really have to thank them to keep believing in me and to try over and over again, and even today they were still there to support me. So yeah, without them I couldn't control this race, and now going to the last climb and leave it all out there, it was our plan and it worked.
Because you wanted this one, you had noted this one down, this stage of the Tour de France after a tough 3 weeks.
To be honest, I also wanted the 20 stages before today, but yeah, I came close a few times, but also was quite far off on several occasions. Even yesterday, I didn't feel good enough to make the breakaway. So yeah, the hardest thing for me was to keep the belief, but especially because the people around me kept believing in me, I was able to do it.
Simon Yates wins his stage, you win your stage, Jonas finishes second. It's a success for Visma Lease Bike.
Yeah, I have to say we came to this tour with ambition to win also the yellow jersey, but yeah, the strongest rider in the race and the biggest cyclist in the world won it. Tadej Pogacar was the strongest. We tried to give him competition, and I have to say I'm proud of how we raced as a team, how we kept trying every day. But yeah, for sure we don't go home without prizes. Like you said, we won 2 stages. We have Jonas second in GC, and we had a really great group. We win the team classification, so we should be proud.
In terms of GC, of course, Pogacar wins with a handy margin of 4 minutes 24. He built that buffer in the first 2 weeks and then defended quite comfortably, albeit a little bit tired in the third week. Lipovic, a well-deserved white jersey and third place behind Vingegaard on 11 minutes. Maybe he's the challenger for Pogacar in the future years. Hope you enjoyed all the videos, and I'll see you with the women's tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.